Where are we going? 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 Ready? Unleash the hounds. Go, go, go! Where are we going? Daddy got to do the gate. Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. Or is it? This isn't a Midweek 180. It's a dog walk with a difference. I felt like I needed to explain myself. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, and welcome by the way, I've had lots of new subscribers recently. This week we hit 275,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if you couple that with, or add that to the 85,000 or so followers on Facebook and the 42,000 followers or so on Instagram, means I have a total following of over 400,000 people. Now, I know that there's a bit of crossover against those three platforms, but even so, 400,000 people, that's a lot. Still got quite a long way to go to get my YouTube 1 million subscriber play button though. But if you are new to the channel, you may not be familiar with the Midweek 180 because I haven't done one for quite a while. Those of you who've been around for a while will know them well. Bit of history. When I started YouTube 10 years ago, my initial plan, because it was just a hobby, you know, for shits and giggles at the weekend, I was just going to put up one film every week on a Friday at 6 o'clock UK time. And I've done that every single Friday since without missing one. I then, to try and, I think at that time the algorithm really liked it if you uploaded lots and lots of videos or very regularly. And although I couldn't do like a video every day, although I did do that during lockdown, I thought I would do some extra videos. So I started to do a video on a Wednesday that I called a Midweek 180. I think the inspiration for it came from, I'm pretty sure it was Chris Harris I saw do like a really short 1 minute long update video. And then there are a few channels that did like news videos each week, and I thought it was a good idea, so I started doing this Midweek 180, and the name originally was 180 seconds. It was an update, and it was never 180 seconds. I used to put a timer on, and the main core part of the video was 180 seconds to try and get everything in, and I'd do a bit of Formula One news because I'm a big Formula One fan. I'd do maybe any new car releases and any other channel news, all within the 180 seconds. And at the beginning of the video, I'd always give a shout out to initially the first 5 comments. Originally it was the famous 5, and then lots of people said, can you do more? Because, you know, we never get in the famous 5. So then I made it the Magnificent 7. So you'd have leader of the pack, first comment each week, and then you'd have the Magnificent 7. And I did that format for a long time. I would say well over 5 years probably. I haven't gone back to look, but it might even be 6 or 7 years. Every week on a Wednesday, 6 o'clock, I do my Midweek 180. And then I started to do videos on a Monday as well. So I was doing 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 o'clock. And I did that for a long time. And the logistical toll that takes to get that many videos filmed and edited and scheduled every single week is a significant one. And I started to struggle, and I started to realize that, well, it was just becoming quite difficult. And that's when I've kind of let myself down a little bit. Well, not really, but I just haven't been doing it recently. So why is that? I love walking out across the farm. I find there's something really hypnotic about when you see the crops, and especially on a day like today, you've got the sun and then the wind blowing across the top of the crops, and you get these waves. You can almost see the wind coming across. It's just, I love it. I could come up here and just watch that. And then the lovely thing about this particular bit of farmland is we get skylarks, and whenever you're walking along here, you'll hear them in the air. I'm not so sure you can hear them. There's loads of swallows over there as well. So the challenge I've had with the Midweek 180 is twofold. I'm going to explain the first one, and that is content. What I mean by that is the format, I changed it about a year or so ago. I got rid of the 180 second timer and just turned it into a bit more of a kind of magazine format. Hold on. Skylarks. He's over there. He's obviously, so I don't know whether it's me walking past going, I'd love to be able to speak bird song. He's probably going, hey, there's a bloke walking down there, be careful, watch out the way. Yes, so got rid of the timer, did a magazine format, and I always used to do a bit of Formula One, and then any new cars that were launched that week, I'd talk about them, and then I'd talk about upcoming videos or things I've been doing. And that kind of worked well, but one of the things I've noticed recently is the number of new cars that are interesting enough to talk about is kind of few and far between. It's been really quite dry, and I used to get to like Monday, because I'd normally try and film it on a Tuesday. Sometimes if I was working from home on a Wednesday, I'd actually film it Wednesday morning. And I'd be looking around and go, oh, I've just got no cars to talk about. And then, you know, I then got to the point where you're almost putting a video out for the sake of putting a video out. And that is never, ever a good place to be, because you end up just feeding the mincemeat machine, you know, just for the sake of it, rather than actually creating some content people want to watch. And I started to get to really not stress about it, but I started to make sure I didn't want to do that. If I was going to put videos out, God, that one's really loud. If I was going to put videos out, then I wanted them to be good quality, and I wanted them to be things that you guys would want to watch. So I missed a couple of Midweek 180s just because of lack of content. And then the other big challenge I've had in the last probably 12 months is just time. It's really weird. Now I'm full-time. I thought being full-time would give me more time to make those 3 videos a week, and it wouldn't be a problem. And it's weird. I've actually got less time now that I'm not doing my old job than I had when I was doing my job. Because if you're on a press event or you go away for a week or whatever, it's just time. You need the time to sit down and edit and script and all of those types of things. And I've just found myself lacking in time and not being able to make. There's another one over there, look. All right, mate, I'm not chill. I'm not going to do anything. So time and content are 2 big challenges, and they've been key to me kind of backing off on the Midweek 180. But there is one other reason that you might be surprised about that might kind of, well, actually, some of you it might not surprise at all, but for me, it's probably the main reason. It's really windy today. I hope it's not picking up on the mic too much. The weather's been really weird here in the UK the last few weeks. This week has been really quite cold and very wet, yet last week it was in the 30s, stifling hot, and next week looks like it's going to be back to being hot again. But it's a beautiful day. It's just there's some really nasty big black clouds like that one just there that have a really nasty habit of dumping their load all over you and making you absolutely soaking wet within seconds. I was out at Silverstone yesterday at an event with Audi, and we got absolutely soaking wet whilst go-karting. In fact, I can feel some spots of rain in the air. But make sure you tune in to my video next week and you'll see more about the go-karting. But the next reason for the Midweek 180 being a bit scarce recently is, well, it's a commercial one. Now, the realities of running a YouTube channel are you have different income streams, if you like. The first income stream, which has up until very recently, probably the last couple of years anyway, been my main income stream, is ad revenue from Google. So whenever you watch a video, you get served ads. The advertiser pays Google to place that ad. There's a ad revenue share between me and Google, and at the end of every month I get a payment from Google based on the number of video views I've had that week or that month. And it's not as easy as views because it depends on who's watching and where they are and how long they watch. It's a complicated thing. So the number of views a video gets is really, really important. And my Monday and Friday videos have always been my main videos that I hope to gain those views from. The second thing you can do commercially is you can work with brands to do ad integrations. And that's where I might take, a couple of minutes in a video to give a shout out to a dash cam or an app on my phone, or you've seen a number of the things I've done over the last few years. And that's where video views becomes really important, because when you're talking to brands to try and work out how much you can charge for a commercial integration, it's based on how many views you think you're going to get. And the more views you think you're going to get, the more money you can charge. And what brands will do is the vast majority of them will go back and look at the last 10 videos you've put on your channel and look at the total view count and look at the average number of views per video. And the challenge I've got with the Midweek 180 is even the best performing Midweek 180s would only, I'd expect them to do maybe 10,000 views. Normally it's between 3,000 to 5,000 views. Whereas a review of a car on my channel, views are really hard to get recently, but I don't know, minimum of 20 to 30,000 views. So the problem is, if 1 in every 3 videos I make is only getting 2,000 or 3,000 views, the average count per video drops. And what that means is, even if you explain it to a brand and you say, look, that middle video of the week is one that I would never put your integration in, and it's a way of me really kind of communicating with my core audience, but I'd not put your integration in that. It's still very, very difficult. And it basically means that I've lost a few brand deals or possible integrations over the last 6 to 12 months because my average views per video haven't been high enough for me to get the kind of payment I would want. So if you couple time, the lack of content, and then finally it kind of dragging my average views per video number down, I made the call earlier this year to just pause the Midweek 180 to see if it made any difference, to see if it would help me commercially get those deals. Because I know you guys, I always, if you put an ad in a video, it's like, oh God, it's another advert. At the end of the day, without those integrations in videos, I cannot do this job full time. Google ad revenue on its own is not enough for this to be my job. It might be if you're a Matt Armstrong and you're getting 5 million views a video, but it's not enough for me. I need those extra commercial deals to help me run the channel. So that, for my loyal and regularly watching peddlers who tune in or expect to tune in every week to a Midweek 180, that's why I haven't done one for a while, just to see if I can balance out that average views per video to make the channel more attractive for commercial deals, to help me increase the level of income into my business, to help me fund the making of better videos that I can put out on a Monday and a Friday. So that's why. Question is, it's Wednesday this week and I didn't put a film out on Monday. What's going on there then? I've been waiting for a pause in the rain and the weather today, and I thought, I can see one, it's going to be all right. It's not, it's bloody raining. I think it's just, it'll be clear and there's some blue sky over there. Anyway, so why didn't I put a video out on Monday? Well, last week, I completed my 54th lap around the sun. So yeah, I turned 54 last week, it was my birthday, and I just had a couple of days where I just relaxed a bit, spent some time at home, went out for nice walks with Hallie, played lots of paddle. I'm getting slightly addicted to paddle, but anyway. I have actually started, if you like your paddle, I've started a new Instagram account called Petrol Ped. It's only got about 50 followers at the moment, so head on over to Instagram, paddle_ped. Please give me a follow. there's no surprise I'm going to be posting paddle related content. So if you don't like paddle, it's probably not one for you. But anyway, so yeah, I chilled out a bit, and before that I'd been away a lot. I've had quite a few foreign trips. I was in Rome with Ferrari, I'll come on to that in a moment. I had a quick trip to South Korea, I went to the N24. Before that I was over in Spain for GT Tours, so lots and lots of time away. And although I'd banked lots of content, I've got, I think, 3 videos that are mid-edit that need to be signed off by the various brands and stuff that I was working with on them. And I haven't managed to get them signed off. And on Monday of this week, I just didn't have a video in the can. And I nearly recorded something on the weekend. And in the end, I didn't. I had other things. I thought, you know what? The world is not going to stop rotating if I don't put a video out on a Monday. I don't like missing Mondays and Fridays. But at the end of the day, I'd rather just pause it and not put anything out than just put rubbish out for the sake of it. And also, I thought I'd do this as a kind of stand-in midweek 180. So hopefully normal service will resume next week. I've got videos in the can and videos planning, and I've got a really busy video or busy filming schedule this week. I'm doing a kind of behind the scenes vlog again this week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I think I'm probably going to put that out on Monday. So yes, that's why Monday I just ran out. It's the worst thing in the world as a content creator when you suddenly realize your to edit file is empty and you've got no filming planned. And also the other thing last week, the weather was so bad. I had a couple of ideas. I thought I might get some videos done, but the weather was so shocking I couldn't, because it was absolutely chucking it down with rain most of the week. So yes, so that's why. Anyway, the last couple of things I want to talk about. We need to have a bit of a chat about Ferrari Luche and my trip to Rome. Come on, dude. Look, see? Look at the wind going across that field. It's just magical. Really, really magical. I don't know whether it's me. Please put in the comments below. The 2 things I love, whenever you see a field like that, I love watching the wind, and then I also think of Gladiator and walking along, rubbing my hand on the top of the fronds of corn or wheat or whatever's in the field. Now, I don't want to go on too much about the Ferrari Luche. I think there's been plenty of stuff said online. I'm going to hold the camera this way, actually, because the wind and the rain's blowing in from that direction. I just wanted to say a big thank you, actually, because I put 2 films out on Luche. One, the one I actually shot at the event. I'm sure many of you have watched that by now, and I got a fair amount of stick for that in the comments. And actually, not just on YouTube, the most toxic place I find for social media comments is Facebook. People just can't help themselves. You post something on Facebook and they're in the comments and they're really, really nasty. And I'd just like to do something. I basically like to go like that to you, because me and Phil, who is the guy who helps me with my Facebook, he cuts up all my content into short form and puts it on Facebook for me. And we share the revenue for that. And we made a call after the Luche video went out to put lots and lots of short form content about Luche on Facebook, because it's just flown. And all of the nasty, negative, hateful comments that are in the Facebook comment section below each of those videos, thank you for all the people who put those, because it's fed the algorithm and the videos are done really, really well. And they've actually made us some money. So, somebody was like, oh, not another Luche video. Yeah, it was a conscious decision. We put loads up, 1 a day for the last week and a half. And it's been brilliant. But no, on a serious note, I then put a second video out just explaining a little bit more about the car. I had a bit more time because I was at home, just explaining, for me, the positive things that a lot of people missed. I'm still not a fan of its styling. I think it's a very awkward style car, especially if you think about it having a Ferrari badge. But it's got lots of things that are actually quite interesting and quite innovative. But I wanted to just say thank you for the lovely response to that video. I had so many lovely comments in the video itself, but loads of DMs just saying, you know, we've got your back and well done and we love what you're doing. But the really interesting thing, bearing in mind that video was all about whether or not brands pay us to say nice things or whatever, I won't say how many, but it was quite a lot of PR people from the manufacturers that I work with DM me directly and say, keep doing what you're doing. We really like what you're doing. We trust what you say. We don't mind if you've got negative things to say about our cars, because whatever you say, you're always really balanced. You explain it really nicely, and your audience is super engaged, and it's a real pleasure to have them engage with our cars whenever we launch something new. So for me, that second video, not only is it's actually done more views than the first one and generated more ad revenue than the first one, but it's just given me a huge amount of support from everyone. So I just wanted to say thank you, basically. You know, YouTube can be a challenging time at the best of times, especially recently, but that video itself, I'm still really proud of it. And I'll continue to work with Ferrari, and I'll continue to work with all the other manufacturers that I do to bring you the best content I can in the most unbiased way that I can. Yes, brands pay for us to get to wherever it is, in that case Rome, or I'm off to Tenerife in a few weeks' time, or it might be North Yorkshire. They put us up in a hotel and they give us some food. But that's it. Everything else is on us. What we say, how we position the car, how we film the car. The limited thing I think I've seen, there are a few manufacturers I work with that aren't very happy if you put their press car in a head-to-head against another press car without them knowing about it first. They want to kind of just be happy that it's the way it's being done and all of that kind of stuff. That's about the most controlling I've ever seen. Anyway, I'm going to carry on my walk with a bobble. Are you just there? She's in good form. Aren't you, mate? You prefer this kind of cooler weather, don't you? Because it was a bit hot for you the other week. Just a little bit hot. We're going to carry on our walk, and we're going to hopefully enjoy a bit more of this sunshine, because, yeah, it's quite nice now. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe. And you never know, maybe the midweek 180 will make a return one day. But for now, you're going to have to make do with just 2 films a week. See you on Monday. Actually, no. See you on Friday. It's only Wednesday. Pete. This is 54. Oh, mate. Getting old now. 54. That's like, I was only 6 years away from me retiring. Scary. But look at this. I'll leave you with this view, because it's a banger. Look how beautiful that is. Absolutely stunning.